Well, hello, good afternoon, and good evening, all you beautiful people out there. This is Andre, and you're watching Pepper's Echo. You're watching Live Echo. And for those who are live, thumbs up. Thank you very, very much. And then for those who are watching on the recordings, thank you very, very much too. And then don't forget, please like and subscribe. And ring the bell. No, I'm kidding. Just hit that bell button to be notified of my streams every Sunday at 2 o'clock South African time and 5 o'clock on Cambodian time. It would be much appreciated. And if you've got any ideas or anything that would be great to be able to come onto the show, it would be much appreciated if you'd come into contact. Hello, Ilundi, and happy birthday for tomorrow. Ilundi's birthday tomorrow. Thank you very, very much. And yeah, well done on the show on the Motley Mix, ladies. But yeah, if there's anything that you would like to bring to the show, if you would like to, if you've got an idea, if you've got something you're going to discuss, a topic doesn't have to be political. As you know, the last week I haven't done any politics. This week I haven't done, well, I won't be doing any politics this week either. And yeah, I'm just going to sort of chill back this week and do a little bit of chatting. I was hoping to have some people to be able to banter around with, but if not, catch it on the rerun. But yeah, please let me know so that I would be more than happy to pop you on the show. Lynn from Rhodesians Never Die. I'm hoping to pull you across sometime or other. And then there is Chris Wyatt. Chris, I am on your tail. Would love to have you on the show. We'll be bashing emails and that through to you very, very shortly as well as such. Otherwise, I can't complain. Dying of the heat here in Cambodia. Apparently, South Africa's caught quite an early chill, so don't you want to send some over? DHL, I'll pay the postage, please. We are absolutely suffering from the heat on this side. Fortunately, we are very blessed to be able to use aircon, so that does help a little as we go along. But otherwise, I can only say we are absolutely suffering from heat stroke around here. SA, well, enjoy the chill. Never shun a chill. I would love to see snow in winter. But then I suppose the SA guys who are feeling it now at the moment are like, hey, no further than this, brother, no further than this. But yeah, so as life goes along, I am not going to be doing politics or anything this week again, although we can take a look at a quick little bit of a tweet beat before I do start. This week, I'm going to actually carry on with where I started last week about where you need to actually make the decision if it is worth and if you really want to leave South Africa. However, this week I'll take it from the fact that you've made the decision to go and tell you what I did to come to Cambodia and what I was looking at, what I had to do, a couple of stumbling blocks that I maybe went up against, some help that actually friends and that gave to me, and which helped a lot, and things that you need to look at as such. And it is not only for the young at heart. I was pretty old. I'm sorry I didn't do it when I was younger, but the old throat. But yeah, sorry I didn't do it when I was younger, but very, very happy that I did in the end. I am not unhappy about coming to Cambodia. As I said, although I do miss my friends and a lot of the experiences and emotions from South Africa. And I do believe that you would grow into or develop into a successful country. Again, I think we all carry that belief in our heart. Although many hardships might still stay ahead or be ahead, many rivers to cross, as they would say. I was actually chatting to a gentleman this week as well who has different outlooks and views on South Africa, which uses many biblical references, many prophecy references, and looking at things from a different angle or paradigm. I would actually like him on the show. I don't know if he will come on the show at all, but it is definitely worth a try. I might get him without camera, so it would be a very, very interesting chat to have as well if we take a look at that one. However, I do believe I did not give you my email address, so please find peppersecho@gmail.com, PEPRSECHO@gmail.com. It is correct, not a double P, and there is no E. It is specifically made like that. Until I'm rich and famous one day and have my own domains, etc., etc. But anyway, as I said, if you want to get deep dive, going into the deep politics, things to that effect, I will put them in the comments down below as soon as I finish the show. Always remember, log on to and go and look and subscribe to Ronaldo House. A lot of fun, really some good insight into things, and really just a great chat. Roman Kabanak from Morning Shot, definitely would suggest that you go and take a look at him. Chris Wyatt in Durban, Africa, absolutely excellent. I'm actually hoping to get Chris onto the show as well. Joe Emilio, geez, Joe, I don't know what you did to bribe YouTube, but YouTube is notifying the hell out of me for your shows. So I don't know, Joe, if you just slipped one under the door for YouTube there, but you are really getting the notifications out there. I get no notifications. Joe's on. Joe, what about Chris? What about Ronaldo? No. Yeah, it's Joe. Okay, we'll watch Joe Emilio. But yeah, and he's really good as well. And then somebody else who's actually come up pretty interesting, and I've actually only just lately subscribed, and I'm sorry that it's taken me so long, Lynn, from Rhodesians Never Die. And I don't have it to put on the screen, but I will add her stream to the link below as well, because it is really an interesting, nice, light-hearted, also takes looks at the interesting facts, and I really enjoy it. Lynn, I'm going to be watching it live one day as soon as I can actually get the times and that right, because here in Cambodia the times are all wonky. Hence the reason I hardly ever get to see Ronaldo live, because it hits 1 o'clock in the morning over here, and 1 o'clock in the morning I am having that middle of the night siesta type of thing. Although I've tried to set an alarm before, and I wake up and I think, tomorrow again. But otherwise, in the immortal words of Joey from Friends, how you doing? So yeah, take a little bit quick before I go on today. Today, as I said, I want to go on what I did in South Africa, stumbling blocks, etc., for moving to Cambodia, what I was thinking of, my reasons and why I was doing it, etc. Maybe put you on the plane. I won't be too long. I'm probably, if we do hit a conversational show, which it doesn't look like today, we could converse for longer, but otherwise I don't think it's necessary, or deems more than about 35 minutes at the max as such. But I thought we would just take a quick little tweet beat and see what's up with Twitter. And get that into there. And Jacaranda, 6 suspects expected to appear in Pretoria Magistrates Court on Monday in connection with the armed robbery. Obviously didn't have Leo Prinsloo there, otherwise they wouldn't have got the robbery right. Steve Hofmeyer, kom ons hou dit geheim, of nee, kom ons vertel vir almal dat vleis eintlik van boere afkom en nie van die winkelrakke af nie. Yeah, who was it who actually said, I buy my meat at Pick n Pay? I do too. The only thing is Pick n Pay buys it as well. The Herald Lives says Provincial Executive Member for Kile Desi, Zizi Kodwa and Twab, Regional Elections Coordinator Zola Theo, and ANC Ward 17 Councillor seated in front as the rally gets under the way. Yeah. Food packets and T-shirts, all due to be going out one of these days. Kodwa, let me assure you, the problems you see nationally, leadership is addressing them. Yeah, you've been addressing them for the last 24 years. Yours as branches is to strengthen the party and look towards the Wednesday. Yeah, well, no, fine is all I can really say for that. Not too sure what that is. Massive cleanup of Settlers Freeway between Albany and Moint Road. Off ramps, thank you to the DA. Thank you very much, DA. Yeah, that's Western Cape, guys. Traffic officer was reportedly knocked down by a vehicle in Durban earlier on Sunday morning and had to be airlifted to hospital. Let that man, let that, let without sin cast the first stone. Our righteousness must not come from the unrighteousness of others. The one who was cheated upon is entitled to a divorce for the adultery of their partner, nothing more, especially from the third party, which is crowd. Malbi, I'm not too sure what that is. President and Deputy President required to appear before the House of Parliament to answer questions. I see no reason why they shouldn't have a minimum prescribed number of press briefings in a year that are 2 hours long. For me, that's accountability in full. News 24 says the ANC's Integrity Commission has used a meeting with provincial chairperson, Gauteng Premier David Makura, to warn the governing party to take the issue of xenophobia seriously and not just leave the issue to government to deal with. Government, deal with it. It's your country, brother. Acts 1 is 1, got voters like, okay. This is a big one that's flying around the place, all over Facebook and Twitter and all over the place. It's time to take fire license applications online. The Central Firearms Registry is a mess. Today's visit to the Central Firearms Registry confirmed our worst nightmare. Amnesty applications, all packed behind the door. Amnesty applications, Western Cape, packed along a wall. Down the passages. This is an absolute fantastic, phenomenal filing system. And I know someone said with Eskom, with Oracle pulling out of Eskom, they can't even print the invoice. I thought to myself, yeah, you know what? I'm sure Eskom somewhere along the line has the ability to at least float administration and keep things going. But when I look at the firearms department of the police, it looks like this. I'm starting to worry about Eskom. Guys, if this is what we put in. ANC's Integrity Commission has used a meeting with a provincial chairperson, Gauteng Premier David Makura, to warn the governing party. We've done that already. All these wonderful people. Yeah, that absolutely terrible, unscathingly looking filing of the Firearms, Commission of Firearms. What is this? Christopher Mumbeck says, here's an idea. The only thing we need to fix our country is annual elections. City of Joburg is embarking on so much citywide maintenance, you would swear there was an election coming up. So yeah, that would help. Who's the one person on your side who you find irreprehensible? I love these WTF facts, and I'll do a whole show with this sometime as well. 2005, a South African man, Marius Els, adopted a baby hippo. After rescuing it from the river, 6 years later, after years of bonding between the two, that same hippo dragged him into the same river and ate him. So, if you're going to bond with a hippo when it grows higher than your knee, toss it. The Central Firearms Registry again had a 30 million rand budget in 2020-2021, paid 1 million per month to government printing works to print licenses, nearly half of the total budget on printing licenses. Yeah. I think I'm going to tender for the Central Firearms Registry's printing. So, Pumlani Majosi says, quick question, who instigated this war between Israel and Palestine? I'm not talking about history, I'm talking about this one that's been going on over the past week. Who instigated it? It's been underlying tendencies for a long time. And I don't think Biden can even remember to shake his willy off after having a pee. Never mind sort out peace in the Israeli areas. But yeah, so what shall we do? Julius Malema having fun there. What a difference, the woke side. What have they made this week? Yeah, I agree. That's Ronaldo. What difference has the woke side of Twitter made this week? I mean, in real life, not by creating awareness with hashtags and trends online. What have you actually physically done other than open up your jaw and just cause controversy? Magashule says no space in ANC for members who take party to court. What else is going on? And again, we have the Central Firearms Registry filing. Don't like polls. That's just like your opinion, man. What's this? To those convinced polyandry will invite God to send tornadoes and civilization as we know it. And then great, Wille van Transnet se treine afgesteel. The wheels have been stolen off Transnet's trains. I mean, how much further can you trash our government? And what is this? Loading SANO, South African National Congress, Radical Economic Transformation, fake. Kolnias, fake propaganda, rubbish. And Fikile Mbalula, Mr. Fix, why do you say so? And obviously they have no love lost between them. Why are you asking? Do you know something I do not know? Do you have a sly hand in this propaganda rubbish? What a load of... Godray Cole, please don't entertain her. He must leave her. Ace is preparing for the battle ahead. Free advice, Ace. Score update. I'm not going to go through there. Yeah, but we have a lot of fun. Your childhood is destroyed when you see MacGyver broke down and he can't fix his own car. Yeah, that's a little bit. Duke Chill's podcasts, he must break cycle of genetic pain and suffering passed on from Charles and the Queen. What a load of trash. And yeah, I wanted to actually stop at this one. Salute to the Muslim community, a revolutionary Eid Mubarak. Only Julius Malema will call it a revolutionary. Really? Really? Everything's a revolution with this little twat. Farm life as good as what it gets. Somewhere in Rome. Anyways, let me not push along with this too much further. I just thought we'd do a little bit of a tweet beat before we carried on with what's going to happen. So I decided I was going to leave South Africa after actually making my decision, which I explained to you last week how important that was, first of all. And what did I have to do? Well, first of all, what was I going to do? And I decided, well, I want to go and teach in Asia, overseas. It's easier, I'll be honest with you, to get into Asia than what it is into Europe, Australia, New Zealand. And also, I really enjoy teaching. So it is basically a passion of mine, training, teaching, facilitation, etc., etc. So I thought, well, you know what? They are looking for foreign teachers, specifically in English. Although I got and I was teaching English, maths, science, geography. So, yeah. But bottom line is, I said, well, let's go teaching. And then, again, for you say, well, I am too old. What is too old? Because we got a couple of guys in the age over 60 that are teaching, that are foreigners in international schools over here. So, too old... I would say your cutoff line is about maybe a 55, somewhere along there. And then you still got a chance or two of knocking on heaven's door. But so you don't have to be in your 20s, in your 30s. I was in 40s when I decided to come here. And first of all, when you make the decision, you've got to make the decision. You can't on, off, on, off, on, off. It's going and full guns ahead because it takes a lot of work to actually get that done. And number one, to be able to teach overseas, even in Asia, there are very, very few countries. If you go and take a look at them, I think there's India, there is Colombia, there is one or two others as well. There's a couple of countries where you don't need a degree. Most of the countries, including Thailand, including Laos, including Vietnam, including China, you must have a degree, which I didn't have until I got here and finished it off anyway. So now I would be able to move a little bit more freely. However, at that time, no. So I had to choose a place that I would not need a degree. Otherwise, you might get something, right? But you will get kicked out. I know of at least 3 cases physically that I have contact with, that I have friends with, who have been removed from countries, never mind almost jailed and things like that. So, and many times country will bring you in and you don't have a degree to teach or whatever, and they can't give you the right visa, and you keep on every month or every 2 or 3 months. You've got to run and cross over the border and come back in again to renew your visa. It's an absolute nightmare, something that you don't want to start or face with. So first of all, if you've got a degree, fine. You have pretty much a wider variety to choose from. If you don't, make sure you find out if the country that you're wanting to go and teach at requires a degree or not. Most of the countries do these days, although there are quite a few that don't. But be careful. I think they are starting to clamp up because there are so many people who are just going, oh, well, I need a holiday job. I'm just going to go and teach, which is absolute bullshit, because these kids cannot be messed around like that. It is really heart-wrenching for them to pull in here for 6 months or even a year and go, oh, well, there we go, done. And even if it was a school year, I'd say maybe it's okay. You know what, you'd come for the year, do your year, and then go back. But some of them are just, and it's like I couldn't get a bartending or a waitressing job, so I just decided to teach. You either do it as a passion that you want to, or you find something that is more suited in your way. But so make sure that is what you want to do. In Cambodia, an international teacher gets, I wouldn't say a king's ransom. I wouldn't say you would be rich and shameless. But in Cambodia, a international teacher does get a very good salary. Mostly we are paid in dollars. So yes, you are able to live a fairly comfortable life. If you take a look at the comparisons of many locals, even local teachers, but even local workers, local jobs are sometimes, I mean, if you just take a look administratively, bank workers, clerks, tellers, office workers, administrators, things like that, easily earn a quarter to less than that, less than a quarter of what an international teacher would. I was actually looking at the jobs the other day, and I saw a advertisement for a quantity surveyor. And I looked again, and I thought, well, is this a learner? No, it's not. It's actually for a quantity surveyor. And it's like about $400 less than what we earn. And it was like, wow, really? And yeah, no, that's actually a pretty good income for a quantity surveyor. Yeah. And I thought, wow, you know what? Sometimes we just aren't as grateful as what we should be for what we do. Yeah. So first of all, make sure that maybe it's a passion that you're changing. Even if it's a life change that you're wanting, make sure it's what you want to do, or find something in what you're wanting to do. But I love teaching. My wife loves it as well. And it was just a sudden eye-opener. We had spoken to a friend, and we'd sort of played with the idea for about a year. But when you make your decision, you've got to make your decision. So first of all, make sure that you have a degree, or you are looking at going to a country that does not require a degree. Currently, Cambodia does not require a degree for a foreign teacher to teach in. Small chance that you would get a job without this, but make sure you have a TEFL certificate, TEFL, or a TESOL, TESOL. TEFL, teaching English as a foreign language. TESOL is teaching English as a second language. Same thing, potato. So, and as I once again said, there's in Cape Town, there's places you can do your TEFL. You can do it in class. You can do it online. There are many, many, many places that you can do it online for. They do get quite expensive. I think, oh man, I was looking probably at about 4,000 Rand, if not a dash more, to be able to end up doing mine. Take a look on Groupon. I don't know what other deals and that there were. The reason I say Groupon is because the friend that was helping us to go over said, we need to do our TEFL certificates. And I said, right, fine. But I said, I just can't. I mean, it's like nearly 8,000 Rand for my wife and myself. And you don't want to do one that's too low. You get like a 50-hour one or an 80-hour one. Try and at least get a 150-hour master's TEFL certificate done. And he said, no, well, yes, the one that we did, which is nice if you have someone or know someone that has done it already, then you are able to go and at least do a legit one. So yes, reach out to a couple of people, find out where they did theirs, who they did theirs through. You can actually come over here. I think in Thailand, there's a place that you can do your TEFL in. So if I know of a person who came here and did his here and then found work. But make sure you've got your TEFL certificate. That probably counts more than anything else. You can come here with diplomas and goodness knows whatever, and where's your TEFL certificate? That's the most important thing. And we found ours on Groupon in the end because his friend said, well, take a look. Yeah, we got ours on a Groupon deal, and it's legit and everything. There's sites there. They've been long around. And he's done a lot of research. So please, guys, also research where you're doing it. Global Language Training is the company that we did ours through. And we found it on Groupon, and where it was going to cost us anything from 3,500 to 4,000 Rand, we got it done for 750, 800 Rand each, which was, wow. I remember the evening that we decided was the 31st of December. That, I had been speaking to my friend and going, okay, you know what, I need to do this, I need to do that, and the need. And something else that came up was TEFL, you can get up to a year to do your TEFL certificate. When you get it on a Groupon opportunity, they give you 6 months. So I said to him, well, you know what, I'll do my TEFL certificate January, February, March, April, May, June, or February, March, April, May, June, July, and then, August, September, then I'll take a look at maybe moving over to Cambodia. And I'm going to give you the same advice as what he said to me. And he said, look, you're wanting to go, you decide I want to go, and you go or you don't. He says, but to stretch it out like that is absolutely useless. You're not going to do it. If you are still stretching it, and then it's so true. If you are going to stretch it out, you don't want to do it. So make sure when you do, you do it. And that's when we made up our minds. And I remember it was the 31st of December. We were busy getting dressed to go to church for New Year's Eve. And I'd suddenly found this last day of a deal on Groupon. And I was typing in like mad, and it'd been like, deal's closed. And I went into the website and I got into the live chat with the guy and he said, can I help you? I said, yeah, I was hoping to take advantage of we'll take you up on your deal on Groupon, but I see it's closed already. And he said, well, we're from London and it's still open for the next 4 hours. So if you pay now, I can invoice you now and you can still get it at the Groupon pricing. So there I was getting dressed for church, putting on the church clothes and everything, and typing away, yes, transferring, and I'm just thinking, please, Lord, let this not be a scam. But I knew because friends of ours had done it like that and through this company. And just before we rushed off to church that evening, we hit pay and we got like, here we go, you now registered for TEFL, you have 6 months to do, and off we went. So basically from the 1st of January, which we didn't really start much with because that was our sort of chill day, we started maybe 2nd of January, but every night after work, it is easy to do TEFL, but you need to apply yourself to do the TEFL. It's not a walk in the park, but it's not something that to fear or that you can't get past it. It is logic unless you really have a problem speaking English or understanding English. But it still took us 3 weeks, I think it was. Well, it took us right up to the end of January. We did our TEFL certificates. We went to work, woke up, got to work at 6:30 in the morning, finished work at 6:30, 7 in the evening, got home, had supper, sat down at 8 o'clock, and we did TEFL till 12 o'clock, and so on and so on. If you find a partner like your wife or your girlfriend or somebody like that to do it with as well, even better, because you motivate each other. Very, very important. TEFL certificate, guys, really important. When we did the TEFL certificate, when we'd done that, we'd sort of started putting things together, because the next thing is you need to have enough money to buy your airline tickets, which don't come cheaply. If I'm not mistaken, one way was 7,500 rand. So it was about 15,000 rand for 2 air tickets to Cambodia. And we've never been out of the country before. It's not like we've come to visit Cambodia or Thailand or anything. I mean, Swaziland is the best that I've done in international travel. So it's just an absolute mindset. You've got to this is it, because you've got to make the best of what you're going to do. You can't, we'll try and then come back, because you can't. Otherwise, somewhere along the line, you're going to fail. So you need to make sure, that you've got about 15,000 rand in pocket, and that's air tickets only. You still got to live, and you've got to make sure you've got money along the way. And remember, in Cambodia, although they use a currency called real, mostly you can pay in dollars as well. So, I mean, we draw dollars, we pay with dollars, everything, and it's US dollars. So quality of life is inexpensive. But if you're coming over with rands and you're working against dollars, because real, you can work in real, but 4,000 real equals $1. So the real is pretty weak at this stage. So you've got to make sure you have at least 15,000. I think it's going to be more than that around about now. So let's call it 20,000 for an air ticket. And then I would say at least $2,000 to keep you going for 2 months, because now you need to get here, you need to find a hotel, do a little bit of research in hotels and that, but be very, very careful. Do not take what you see. What I have found is that a lot of what you see is not what you find when you get to the places. We were fortunate again. We had a place called a Hotel La Lune. It wasn't a 5-star hotel. It was just enough to accommodate us. And it was $20 a night for the both of us with breakfast. And breakfast was like a slice of bread and scrambled egg and, was it a piece of bacon, or you could have watermelon and some other fruit and a cup of coffee. That was it. So it was like nothing fancy. I actually make better breakfasts at home. But that works it out, $20. So you would need to find a place to stay when you get here, firstly. Secondly, you are going to need to be able to support yourself for at least a month, maybe 2, because even if you find a job within a month's time, you're not going to be paid until the end of the second month as well. Now, you can get by with about $500-600 for the month, depending on how you feel. But because you don't know the places that well, and because you still got to find places, I say $2,000, because you are going to want to have an apartment. Fortunately, most of the apartments that you find in Cambodia, or the people are used to it, they rent out fully furnished. As I said, we don't even own the bedding on our bed in our apartment. It came with the apartment as such. So I would say 7,500 rand, and I don't know what 20,000 rand is now. $2,000. Calculator quickly. Sorry, $2,000 multiplied, say, by 14.5 because the rand's looking pretty good. 29. So you need about 29, 30,000 plus a 20,000. That's about 50,000. You need about $50,000 when you're going over, guys. 50,000 rand, $50,000. I'd retire. No, I'm kidding. But you need about 30,000. So yeah, you about 20,000 in the airfare and about $2,000. You can come on less. You can come on less. I wouldn't make it less than $1,500 if you're wanting to come on less. So what's 1,500? But yeah, that would be my absolute minimum, and then you would need to see 1.5, and I'm working on a really good exchange rate at 14 Rand 50. 21,750. So that's still 42,000 that you'll need. So I round it up and say make a good 50,000 Rand so that you are able to A, buy your airfares across, B, at least have the peace of mind of being here and being able to stay for a month or two. You won't be staying in a hotel for a month or two. I think we stayed 10 days. Our friends also stayed 10 days and bam. Apartments are not that difficult to find, especially apartment that you just want to start off with. Just find something neat and tidy and comfortable. It's always cheaper to have a place to stay, to make food, etc., etc. That's not really difficult. It's just that, you know what, you're wanting to learn where to find things, etc. But that's just on the leaving so far. So far we've looked at saying we've got to buy our air, we've got to do a TEFL certificate, we've got to buy air tickets, and we need money to come over with. Visa. You need to have a visa. I don't know if you can get one currently at the moment as such, because when under normal circumstances, but at the moment we're dealing with COVID as well. So I don't know if the possibility of doing it. I think you need to have a job offer, yeah, which is very difficult because you're not really going to get a job offer in Cambodia, especially with a school or international school. They don't do like Skype interviews, not like China and that. I think Vietnam will do it as well, who will actually do your interview online for you, with you, etc., and then make your job offer. When coming to Cambodia, you come here without a job. And that's another reason why I say you need to look after yourself, because when we did come over, once again, this is pre-COVID, we did, within the first week, we found work. You just got to go from school to school. There are literally hundreds of private international schools, and they are all looking for good international English-speaking teachers. So if you've got good command of English and your intention is correct, and your looks is also important. If you've got a big star tattooed all over your eye or up your neck or etc., I would strongly suggest you do something about it. Some schools, well, doesn't matter if you've got a tattoo on or not, I would still make sure that I'm very well presented before I go into interview. I sit with my director sometimes, and we have people walking in there, and the guy's got shorts and a slops on and just like a button-up shirt, and he looks and he goes, you know what, if he really wanted a job, could he not have made a better effort at displaying it? And whoop, there goes the CV into the dustbin. But if you do put effort to it, you can. Currently, the students are not at school due to COVID, so we are teaching online, so it is making it very difficult, although there are still here and there positions going open for teachers. It is not as freely available as what it was when all the children were back at school and school was going normally. When that is running, not a problem. If you need to know more about that, just keep an eye on Cambodian expat groups, and you're welcome to drop a mail to us at Pepper's Echo, and we will keep you informed as well. But yeah, visa-wise, I'm not sure if they will let you, because how it works is, don't go and get an e-visa. Everyone's like, oh, I got to get a visa online. E-visa, get ya 1 month or in 30 days' time, you're going to find yourself running for the border to get out and get back in again to renew your visa. You need to get an EB visa, which is a business or a work visa. Let me put it that way. It's a work visa. Those papers you will fill in on the plane, or latest when you get here. Between Hong Kong and Cambodia, we got the forms on the plane, and you mark EB, and it costs you $35, and you make sure that you've got $35 in change when you come to pay for it at the airport, because they do not have change, they do not give change. And if you mark the wrong thing, I had a terrible thing happen to me. We came in, we marked the right stuff, everything. We paid $35, and they slapped our visas in. They're huge, sort of like military guys, tons of medals and shoulder gear and bird shit on the shoulders and everything. And no one's like really impressed to see you, because you're all like, please, I need a visa. And you're like, yeah, give me a, and you give them the passport, stand there, stand in the corner, and you need a visa. And next thing, they just bring your passport back, visa, thank you, thank you, thank you. And off we went to go and fetch our luggage. And only when we'd left the international side and we went to fetch luggage, did I open the visa, and I looked and I said, this is an e-visa. It's a tourist visa. No work can be taken on this visa. And I don't know, there must have been a hand looking over me that day, because we ran back, and the guy didn't not want to let us go back into immigration. And we're like, no, I paid for this, and and he's giving me the wrong visa. Eventually, somehow he let us through, and we got back to this visa thing, and said to God, please, you've given me the wrong visa, but no. And nobody wanted to help. They were just not interested. Looked at me, not interested. I said, I paid $35. He took $10 and he threw $10 at me. I said, I don't want your money back. I said, I want my visa. I need the right visa, because had I gone through with that visa, A, I would have been illegally finding work, and B, at the end of 30 days, I would have had to go across the border and back again to try and go out and back in again. So with a long schlep, eventually one guy got up and said, well, you should have ticked the right block. And I said to him, please, I've ticked the right block. Please just check. Nobody wanted to. One person eventually went to check, and he came back and he looked at me and he went, it's still your fault. You didn't check. Oh, yes, it's my fault. It's totally my fault. I should have checked. I'm really so sorry. Whatever. But eventually they put the right visa into it. So, number one, when you get here and you're going to do your visa at immigration, and you go and get your visa there, check that you've got the right visa, that you've marked EB, that it is a work visa and not an e-visa. Otherwise, you're going to be running over borders. And as current state of affairs are, if you come into Cambodia, so remember what I said, you're going to need about 20,000 for flight. It was 15. It might be 18,000, okay? But I'm just pushing it at worst case scenario. You're going to need about $2,000. So works out about 50,000. You are going to need $2,000 to put down now in COVID time. When you get here, you will have to put down $2,000 and then go into quarantine for 2 weeks. Now, the $2,000 that you put down will be used for your food and accommodation and everything for quarantine. And if you're lucky, you'll get anything back, something back from that $2,000. Otherwise, your first encounter with Cambodia will be 2 weeks quarantine and $2,000 off you. So you will need to have an additional $2,000 if that is what you're looking at right now. And secondly, it's also going to be a rigmarole to get an EB work visa at the moment, because they are very much looking at, you need to have the job offer. So if you come in on an E visa, which you would be allowed to from South Africa at the moment, you would still need to do a border run. If you have to do a border run, that means you've gone across the border. As soon as you come back over the border, guess what? You need another $2,000 and you're going into two weeks quarantine. So, brother, I don't know if it's worth it at the moment. Keep your eye open. But under normal circumstances, we needed about 50,000. Do not take an e-visa. When you get here, do your visa at the airport. Ask for the forms on the plane. Usually they offer them to you just before or on your last trip to Cambodia as such. Your next lot is going to have to be selling your items. Now, if you intend to go back, How serious are you about leaving is my question. So if you've got parents that you need to, or a brother or sister or somebody that you want to leave a few little mementos with or whatever, by all means do so. But don't go and leave yourself a storage house full of stuff that you haven't sold. All my records are there, and my collection of this is there, and I have my computer is still there, and all this stuff. You know what? You're not serious about actually coming over. Your couple of mementos, maybe you've got a photo album, maybe you've got something that's very, very precious to you, because you can only take 30 kilograms on the plane with you. So obviously anything with a lot of weight, you don't want to, can't, or shouldn't take with you. So if you've got a beautiful PC there, sell it. Get rid of everything. We didn't have hardly 2 cents to rub together. The money that we made to be able to come to Cambodia was from selling everything we owned. We sold everything we owned. I don't really have family. I have a brother, I have a mother, but other than that, we don't really have, and we've got some kids there as well, but we don't really have anyone that we can leave stuff with. I've left my bike jackets and that with my brother, but we left nothing else, nothing. It's like I've said before, was it the Norsemen or the Vikings that went to attack a little country or whatever, and they got there, they went to the top of the hill and they looked down, and the guys looked at their leader and they said, whoa, those guys look strong, they look fierce, and I don't think we can beat them. And so his leader got a group of about 5 to 10 guys together, and he sent them down the hill again. Next thing, they came back again, and everyone looked back, and all the boats that they'd come on had been burnt down. They had no way of retreating. Guess what? Those guys beat that big army that they were afraid of. Basically, burn your boats. Don't give yourself an opportunity to go back if this is that you want to go forward. Life always goes forward. As I showed you the photo, I'm not going to go and dig it up now again. We had 2 suitcases to our name, and the rest went to our plane tickets and our $2,000 to actually stay here, which is fair comfortable, because you can get an apartment for $350 a month, maybe $50 lights and water. We have one that's a little bit more expensive now, but as you settle down, you will find we've changed in 2 years. We've changed apartment. We got one apartment, then we changed apartment, and now we're in our 3rd apartment where we're now happy. So you might move into one and you're happy there, but your first 2 months, don't let financial issues be your worry. Very, very important. So we've gone through TEFL certificate. We've gone through at least a 50,000 plus minus, say 42 to 50,000 Rand that you would need to put together to be able to come over. We've gone through the fact that you need an EB visa, because now during COVID time, you've got a 2,000 deposit. First, wait for it to be over. Keep in contact with friends and people that know. Give us a buzz. Go on to expats in Cambodia, expats in Phnom Penh, Phnom Penh being the capital of Cambodia, and ask questions there. Make sure, do research, connect up with people here so that you are sure. And then again, as I said in the beginning, make sure that the country you're going to, if you're not going to Cambodia, is not one that requires a degree. Cambodia will not do interviews in South Africa via Skype, etc., etc. You will have to come here and you'll have to do footwork to get the job here. And my suggestion is sell everything at home. If you've got a place to keep a few sentimental items, do so, but don't leave anything that you're paying off at home or that you're keeping, and you know what, this is what I can use, that is what I can use. I've got a lounge set at home and my bedroom set is at home, etc., etc. All it means is you're probably going to be going home. Burn your boat and you will win the war. If you don't, you will go back with your tail between your legs, guaranteed. I have seen many people going back, and I'm just thinking, in this time of COVID, with a 40% unemployment rate in South Africa, with a high cost of living, you want to go back. And many people, I'll go back and I'll go and learn online or teach online. Stay in Cambodia and teach online. Your cost of living is far lower, far lower. But I'll tell you more about Cambodia next week when I get to my part of arriving here, what to expect when you arrive here. But my main thing is, A, make a decision, don't take a long time. B, get your TEFL certificate. We did ours in 3 weeks. Don't take 6 months, whatever. Take a month, work hard on it, and get it done properly. Commit, resign, get all your stuff sold, leave it with people. Don't leave it with people. Leave a couple of memories that you want with people. Do not, under any circumstances, pack any form of warm clothing. No caps, no hot jackets, no gloves, get yourself formal clothing. Tie, you need long sleeve shirts, you need a decent long pants to look neat to work in. But do not come here with bomber jackets and windbreakers. You will not use it. I promise you will not use it. Hot clothing is taboo here. You will not use hot clothing at all. So do not take up the space in your case on hot clothing. Flat sheets are absolutely almost impossible to get here. So some flat sheets would be a good idea to bring along. But whatever you do, do not take up space and wait with hot and heavy clothing. It is hot here. You want cool clothes, comfortable clothes, and then, as I said, for looking around. If you're a biggish person like me, bring clothes. Bring clothes. The Asian people are small. Their form of XXX, this little finger goes through the sleeve, and that's about it. So if you're a biggish person, lady or gent, call it what you want, big boned, larger than life, great personality, whatever, anything. But if you are a larger person, you are going to struggle to find clothes. If your feet are big, you will struggle to find shoes. So get some shoes in, rather, get some good sized clothes in, nice short sleeve, button up, cool clothes. Throw in some t-shirts if you want, nice shorts. You'll be wearing shorts most of your time. Pop in some tackies, some sneakers. But yes, clothes, underpants. You need to bring underpants. These things fit you like G-strings and pull your nuts into your crotch here, bro. So hang into there. It's about the only information I can give you is cool clothes, big clothes, sheets. Don't pack hot clothes. Technology is not expensive over here, so if your cell phone's on the end, don't worry, you can get a cell phone here for about $60, $70. You can also get a cell phone for $2,000 if you want the latest Samsung. But you'd probably pay on an average between $150 and $200 if you wanted a decent cell phone. But you can get anything from, say, $60, $70, $80 you can get a cell phone for as well. Make sure that your cell phone does work here when you get here. Next week, I'll tell you all about actually getting your cell phone connected up, etc., because I am running out of time. So make sure you are going to a country, or if you're coming to Cambodia, you don't need a degree, but make sure if you're not coming to Cambodia, any other Asian company, most of them, even surrounding Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos, all need, China, all need degrees. TEFL certificate. Whatever you do, make sure you get a TEFL certificate. Make your decision and get it done. Don't try and place it over 6, 7, 8 months. Once you decide, go for it. Make sure you've got air tickets. Air tickets, as I said, budget 20,000, cost us 15. It might only be 18. With the pandemic at the moment, air tickets are ridiculously high. So I would wait it out. Money to be here under normal circumstances, $2,000, which we worked out is about 30,000. So if you had about 25 to 30,000 rand, it would keep you over 2 weeks, 2 months. EB visa. Make sure you got an EB visa. Otherwise, you're running over borders in 30 days' time because they're not going to give you a work visa. So make sure you rather get it on the plane and then you get it when you actually arrive at the airport, which is quite possible over here as such. Currently, with COVID in the air, you are going to need to pay a $2,000 deposit when you get here above the amount that you have, and you will go into 2-week quarantine, and you will get very little of that $2,000 back, if anything at all, which is just unnecessary at the moment. It's ridiculous. As well as the fact that the students are not currently at school. I do believe at the moment the COVID is going down here. We're in quarantine and everything, but there's like, I think 300 more cases and like 1,500 recoveries. I am very sure that in Cambodia, the figures are just going to go right the way down because they're stopping testing. There's 1 or 2 little red zones that they're doing some testing in. So of course you don't test, you don't get results. Your people are going to heal up and you're not going to get any more cases. So hopefully it isn't a train smash where we actually end up with a bigger pandemic later on down the year because they have not tested properly and they've given up testing and they think, well, vaccinating is it. But yeah, if you can't get vaccinated before you leave, try as soon as you do get, when you get here, to get vaccinated. I know if people are coming. I've actually have an order of Mrs. Ball's chutney in on with a chap who's coming, and he's a kindergarten teacher, and he's coming to find work here, and he's had to be able to put together his money for it. So it's not impossible. It's just really pretty crazy at the moment to do so. But otherwise, sell everything, burn your boats, leave your special items with somebody if you're going to fetch it back or something to that effect, but make a commitment. And then it's all up to that very day when you are going to take off. And I have some photos of that and our first arrival in Phnom Penh in Cambodia. And then I'll tell you what we did and how we went about it and what we found. And it's a cultural shock and all that type of stuff. Doesn't matter how much you prepare for it. But yeah, that's basically everything leading up to departing South Africa. And as I said, if you put a jacket in, you're a stupid fool. Rather fold it, take not a fitted sheet. Fitted sheets you can find like mad over here, but you cannot find a flat sheet over here. So rather do that. And if you are a biggish person like myself, brother, I do get clothes, yeah, I do. But and you can get them made as well. It's not such expensive, probably about $20 to make a shirt or something like that. But still, it's better to bring along a good amount of clothes that would be appropriate for you, and shoes and underpants. Otherwise, guys, thank you very much for watching. I will carry on next week with actually leaving South Africa and our trip and arriving in Phnom Penh, what we found, what we did, how we went about it, what it currently looks like and seems to be like at the moment. As I said, currently there are people that are coming over. It's not advisable currently as the students are not at school. As I said, I do believe it's not confirmed or factual, but I do believe testing is much less than what it used to, because all the cases are suddenly just dropping and recoveries are just flourishing. I don't see that something can logically go so fast, but I think we're over, so we don't need to lock down anymore. We've just got a curfew from 8 in the evening till 3 in the morning. Restaurants and that are still closed. alcohol is still not on sale for another week. Fortunately, we can smoke. But yeah, otherwise, as I said, give it some time. Join the South Africans in Cambodia, expats in Cambodia, South Africans in Phnom Penh, expats in Phnom Penh, and ask questions. And you're more than welcome to post a couple of questions to me. You can use them, email, where is it? peppersecho@gmail.com, peppersecho@gmail.com. You're more than welcome to drop them on the YouTube comments as well. If you've got something interesting to add, maybe you've moved to another country, I would love to include it on the show. If you'd like to be on the show and tell us about it, would be great. If not, just drop us a comment or a mail on it. I'd love to share it. I really do. I'm just giving you my experiences. And yeah, everything is pretty tense in between that, because you're moving pretty fast. You're suddenly studying, you're trying to sell everything. Eventually you're giving away things to actually just clear out everything. And as you're selling your car breaks, and you're suddenly getting 4,000 Rand less for the car, and you've got to make up like $2,000 to stay there. And you know what, just keep calm and carry on. That's all I can say. You've got to keep your head in the right direction. But yes, please guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. I would really, really appreciate it. And yes, it would be even nicer if you did make it on live. If this time slot does not suit you, if 2 o'clock on a Sunday is just like, you know what, Andre, you chose the crappiest time to put a weekly stream in. Please try and give me a better time. Now, I cannot do a 8 o'clock at night, apart from the fact that it's Ronaldo's slot, which is just pure madness. But the fact of the matter that 8 o'clock at night is 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. So whenever you decide to actually give me a suggested time slot, please calculate 5 hours forward and see if it's actually reasonable for me to be able to be awake, instead of like, oh yeah, hello guys. Yeah. That's the call of the snowbird. But yeah, something to that effect. But so please, guys, I really want some info and feedback. If you've got some adventures to tell us about, and your moves, and your moving out, and how you did and what you did, it doesn't need to be Cambodia and teaching Cambodia in the world. I know there's some friends I've got who are all over the place as well. I've even got comments from friends and that as well on the show. And I know they have some phenomenal stories to tell. And I would love to hear your phenomenal stories. I would love to hear if there is a better time slot that I could put the Echo in. And I would love to be able to entertain some questions and a little bit more of a chat than just a one-way conversation. For those of you that have been watching, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I don't know who's on at the moment. Linda, thank you very much. Rhodesians never die. I should hopefully be seeing you soon. I will definitely be working on trying to figure your time so that I can at least try one live there with you as well. But thank you very much for your efforts, and that your channel is really good. So don't forget to actually pop into Rhodesians Never Die as well. I will put it in the links below there too. But from my side, thank you very much for watching, for listening, and I would love to hear from you. Take care. Be good. If you can't be good, remember, be kind.